This is our new Sylvania Ultra LED, and it's made for recessed or surface mount applications. It's unique because not only does it work in a recessed lighting housing, but it'll work inside a junction box in the ceiling. It's a very, very bright 13 watt LED, puts out about the same as the 75 watt old style light bulb. So great energy savings, runs very cool, and will last for years and years and years at 35,000 hours. So I'm going to open up the box and show you what comes inside so you can get a good idea. So just flip the box open. Box comes with some pretty good instructions. Actually, they're pretty detailed, and quite often instructions that come with lighting products aren't that great, but we found that this one's pretty good. So keep a hand on that. You'll want to refer to it. A light fixture also comes with some parts here. We're going to go through these here in just a minute. And here's the light fixture itself. Bring that out. Here's the little adapter plug. Now for recessed lighting applications, you can screw them right in. We'll show you how to do that. This is the driver for the LEDs. Very simple. Actually pretty elegant in its simple design. And there's some actual optional trim rings, designer trim rings, in a black, a light satin, and of course a bronze that will end up clipping right on here. So you can get a little designer flair on your project. We really like the bronze. Makes it really look different and not so plain in the ceiling. And we're going to go into how these go on. Actually, there's just little tabs here in the back. But we'll show you one of them installed in the ceiling so you can get an idea how it looks like in a finished application. So from here, we're going to move over to our ceiling recessed lighting fixture. We're going to show you how the parts work, and we're going to put the fixture right in place and let you get a good idea of the whole process. All right, so I'm gonna open up the parts here. I'm just going to dump them all out. This is a bracket that's used when there's a junction box in the ceiling. And in that application, it's going to use the wire nuts and these two long screws. For the next application of our light disc, it's going to go permanently installed up against a junction box in the ceiling. And we're going to show you the process and show you how the huge difference it's going to make. And these are all the parts we're going to need. The wire nuts, the screws, and the bracket bar, and the disc all come in the package. You're going to need a screwdriver and a wire cutter and wire stripper. And of course, we're going to cheat, and we're going to use our really cool wire strippers that we use here in our shop all the time. You can find both of these at Home Depot, and you can probably find this one in your own toolbox. And we're actually going to go through and we're going to cut this off here in a few minutes and wire this directly in. Not a big deal. So we're going to move up to our project area. And on the way, we're going to shut off the power to that room. So what you might want to do is make sure you have a little work light that you can plug into an extension cord so you don't have to work in the dark. Now we're going to have an advantage because we're doing this in the daytime and there's a window in the room providing some light. But I want you to be safe. So there's two things I want you to do. I want you to shut off the power, and I want you to wear safety glasses, because when you're working up against the ceiling, always wear safety glasses because you don't know what's going to, dust and particles and things could fall into your eyes. So make sure you do that. This is the lighting circuit that we're going to be on upstairs. And we're going to shut off the circuit. That way we know for sure that there's no power there and we're not going to have a big surprise. And I always like to put a piece of red tape over this, letting people know that that circuit needs to stay off while we're working. All right? Close the circuit breaker panel and head over to your project. One of the things we're going to do when we get this installed is we want to put this bronze trim ring on it, decorative, and I want to show you how easy it is. So when it's done, it's going to be just slip it over this, just press it on. And on the back are these little tabs. See them right here? And I'm just going to take the tabs and just bend them over. See? Just like this. Just bend over the tabs. And now you have a designer trim to go with the decor of the room. Really simple. And we have 3 to choose from: the bronze, the light satin, and of course black. So here's our project light fixture. You can see it's not very attractive. Uses a 75 watt halogen bulb. We're going to drop this down to 13 watt. This application is way wrong. They got a halogen bulb, kind of a narrow beam, trying to light this room. What we're going to do is we're going to put a nice, soft, bright LED light in here. So let's get started. I shut the power off downstairs, as you noted, at the circuit breaker. I brought myself in a portable light so I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. So here it is. And I'm going to remove the wiring. This has been here since the building was built. All right, so the wires are now exposed and the old light fixture is down. Now the next thing I like to do when I have the luxury of having enough wire in the ceiling is I want to clean this up. And yeah, I'm going to cheat and use my really nice wire stripper and clean these up a little bit here. This makes it so easy when you're doing these projects to use the right tools. And I got this at Home Depot. I think pretty much any good hardware store is going to have it too. Yeah, I'm going to do a little bit more. There we go. So I've got my wires stripped and ready. I've got my hot, my neutral, and I got my ground. I put a little loop in the ground. You'll see why here in a second. And I just did this with my wire stripper. I just took it and bent a loop into it. So always want to use your ground when you have a ground. Always connect the ground. It's always a good idea. Nothing wrong with that at all. Now, you're going to want to put the bracket up here like this. So, see? Don't do that. Look in the instructions. This is upside down. This part of the bracket actually goes up inside the junction box. So don't do it wrong, do it right. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this all together and screw it on. While we're talking about the bracket, the wrong, the right, this is going to go up in here and these things are actually going to stick down. See that hole right there? That hole, there's a hole right there. That hole's really important because the trim, the LED trim is going to connect and there's a little clip that's going to go right through that hole. And it's referred to in the instructions, number 4. It actually shows that little clip. So this is important. The clip's going to go right in there, just so you know, okay? So let's get this prepped and ready and screwed in place. So the bracket's grounded. I'm going to change my screwdriver around here a little bit. I'm going to take this, push it up inside. Kind of work this ground wire around a little bit because it's pretty stiff. All right, that's looking pretty good. Let me get my screws. We'll screw this up into the junction box. It's kind of a universal bracket. Fits almost every junction box. Some of the really small ones it may not. So check your junction box before you start, cutting things, taking things apart and throwing them away. Make sure that you're good. It's sitting in there really good. I don't want to over tighten it. I don't want anything to bend. So our next step now is we're going to attach the light fixture itself. And if you remember, the light fixture has a socket on it. We're going to take that socket, cut it off and strip this. And I'll show you how easy this is to finish. Here's the light disc that we prepared downstairs. And if we remember, we put the bronze trim on here and it's ready to go. Now, a minute ago, we talked about up here, these holes. That clip is going to go in that hole and the same on the other side. So you need to know that. Now, the light disc comes with this plug. I'm going to bend down here. I'm going to cut this plug off. I'm going to strip these wires. So we're going to make the commitment. We're going to cut the plug off. And it's going to fall onto the floor. I'm going to strip these wires back a bit. Yeah, a little more. I like a good strip on these. I like to make a good, strong, solid connection. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, now we're going to go back up to the ceiling. All right, black to black and white to white. So I'm going to hook up my black, take the wire nut. Let's give it a little twist here. Put these together like so. Now let's get this wire nut up on here. And it is a little awkward. You're kind of holding the light fixture up and putting the wire nut on at the same time. And you could always go get some help and another ladder. Yeah, nice and tight. I like that. Now, we're kind of ready to go. So what I want you to do is, I want you to just kind of gently start tucking these up inside. A couple of things I want to point out. These clips are really strong. It's really hard to push them through that hole. You're going to have to be patient. You may have to come back, take a little quick break and come back up and do it again. I don't want you to lose your cool and go down and kick the cat. So don't do that. Also, the driver needs to fit in this hole here. So you can't go putting wires here and get them in the way. It's got to fit, fits pretty snug. So if you know these two things are happening, it'll save you a lot of time and grief. So make sure everything's tucked up really good. Don't have a bunch of wires sitting in here and you're going to be okay. Don't try to line up the clips necessarily. Line up the driver into the little hole in the bracket, the little indentation, and just push it straight up in. All right, circuit breaker's back on, and I'm going to turn the light on and give you an idea what it looks like. And it's pretty bright. It's actually putting out, I think, better light than that 75-watt par light, and it's more diffused, and it's throwing light further up against the walls in the room, giving your room a better overall lighting, much better than the spotlight.
At Total Lighting Supply, we understand the importance of your time. Not everyone can be a lighting expert. We're not just about selling you light bulbs, light fixtures, and light components. We're also about helping you achieve amazing and successful lighting results in your space. We hope that our video series will assist you in achieving your lighting goals.